Okay, in this first part of the video, I just want you to listen to the explanation of what we're going to be getting into. And then I'll go through machine quality with you together. But the concept is what you need to get down. So to begin with, all the worksheets that you have to do will have an inventory item number. This is just to throw you off. Usually out there in the business world, when you have product, you're going to have some kind of inventory number that goes with it. But for what we're doing, we need to know that that is something we ignore. What's most important will be the units on hand. So to begin with, what we're going to do is, let's say we're going to buy some Coke and some Pepsi, and then we're going to resell it to make some money. So at first we're going to go buy our sodas. So the first thing we need to do is we need to do our equal sign, and we're going to start with the cost, and we need to multiply it with the units on hand. Now I know you know how to multiply simple numbers, I get that. The point is you need to use formulas. You need to know the formulas on how to do this. So we're going to enter. Again, make sure we're going to take your unit cost, because we're dealing with cost right now. Notice that we're in the total cost column. So we're beginning with our cost, and we're multiplying that cost with our units on hand. Okay, so to begin with, we spent $24 to buy Coke and $18 to buy Pepsi in order to resell it to see how much money we can make. So we go ahead and there it is. Okay, so what we do, we go ahead and we go over to total sales. Now our total sales have something to do with the selling price. So what we're going to do is we are going to start with our equal sign. We always start with the neighbor. Our sales and selling price, they go together. We're going to multiply. Now we're going to assume that we sold all of our product. So we're selling each bottle for $2. Well, we are going to sell all, like I said, we've sold all the bottles that we had bought previously. So we're going to take that selling price, and we're always going to multiply it with that units on hand. Okay, so let's do that again. So we'll do equal sign. Start with the neighbor, or notice that sales and selling, same thing. Then we're going to use our units on hand. You're always going back to that units on hand. So what we did to get our total sales is we're taking that price that we set. We're going to say, well, you know what? I think at $2 we'll make some money. So at that $2, we sold all 24 bottles of Coke, and at that $2.25, we sold all the bottles of Pepsi. So now what we have to figure out is this $48 and $27, that's not what we made. And the reason why it's not what we made as far as what our profit is because we have to subtract out the cost. Because we actually put some money into this to just buy the bottles to begin with. So what we need to do is, in cell H5, we need to begin with our equal sign. As usual, we're going to start with the neighbor, but this time we need to subtract, because we have to take out the cost of it. So then we're going to go over to cost. The other thing you should be aware of for profit potential, notice that we're subtracting the totals. We don't have anything to do with anything else. We're just subtracting totals here. Actually, we're taking the cost out of, well, my computer likes to do things on its own. Let me redo this. So we're subtracting the total cost out of total sales. So we come up with 24. Okay, then again, we start with the neighbor, which is that total sales, and we're going to minus that total cost. So technically, we only made a profit potential for selling all the Coca-Cola of $24 and $9 for the Pepsi. So that's the concept that you're getting out of this, is that you're figuring out how much that I have to pay to buy these bottles of soda, and then you're figuring out, okay, now me selling all these bottles, what was the total sales on that? And then doing the subtraction to find out, well, how much money did I really make? What was that extra amount of money that I made, that profit, from selling it at a higher price? So that's the concept we're going into here. Okay, so now it should all look a little more familiar to you. And I'm going to make this just a tad bigger. So once again, that inventory item number, just throw you off. It's the units on hand is what you need to concentrate on. Okay, so we're going to start with total cost. We're going to do our equal sign, start with the neighbor, multiply units on hand. Cost times unit on hand. So it cost us $118,000 to buy 4 of these things, whatever they are. Okay, now at this point, you can do the fast route and copy down. That's fine. Let's go over to total sales. We'll throw our equal sign in there. You're going to start with the neighbor. You're going to multiply, again, units on hand. Because we're going to pretend we're just lucky and we sell everything that we buy. Okay, again, click on your answer. Pull it down. Profit potential. Equal sign, begin with the neighbor, minus. Okay, remember we started with the neighbor of total sales, so we're going to have to subtract with total cost next. Because you have to subtract out how much money you put into buying it, and then how much money you got from selling it. So this would have been your profit, that extra money that you made from selling it. Okay, let's go to sheet 2. Make it a little bigger for you. All right, total cost. Start with your equal sign. Start with the neighbor. Multiply units on hand. Remember that inventory item number is just nothing that you need to worry about. It's the units on hand. Okay, then you have your total sales. Start with your equal sign, grab your neighbor, multiply units on hand. You're taking that price and you're multiplying it with all that you have on hand because you're lucky and you sell everything. Okay, I'm going to pull that down. Now, we're going to find out how much money, the extra we made, that profit. Start with the neighbor, minus, and your other total. That's what you're subtracting. All right, let's do sheet 2. Again, I'm going to go a little faster. Equal sign, neighbor, multiply, units on hand. Get that in your head, units on hand. Down, go over to total sales, equal sign, neighbor, selling price, sales, multiply it, units on hand, enter, scroll down, okay, profit potential, neighbor to total, so you're subtracting, you're grabbing that other total. Very good. Oops. There we go. Sheet 4. Now let's see if I don't make that mistake. Let's see, equal sign, whoops, let's undo that. Yeah, that's right. escape, equal sign, and multiply units on hand. When I did this last time, there was a mistake. So let's see if I do it right. Times units on hand. And equal sign. And let's see here. Do that total sales minus total cost. Yep, I did it right this time. Good. Excellent. So that is what you should come up with.